Good afternoon, friends. Today, I'm going to talk about the trends. Those are shaping the tractor retailing in India. And when we talk about the tractor retailing, it actually in the tractor industry, it means something very different. But I'm going to talk about the trends, what we are witnessing in this industry, and how do we see the future. Many of the auto enthusiasts are eyeing this industry. They are very closely following tractor industry. And some of the friends also mentioned to me that they are surprised that tractor industry is growing. And even during the pandemic, the growth has been significant. So let me talk about some of the facts and the growth drivers which we track and how do we see this industry shaping up in future. If we see the trend in the last 10 to 15 years of time, we'll see that this is a cyclic industry. Every 3 years, 4 years of time, there is a dip, but then there is a strong rebound. And the data shows that if we divide this industry into a batch of 3 years or 4 years, a growth in that period is somewhere between 5 to 6%. And when we see the CAGR over the last 10 years of time, the CAGR is around 8%. And the same thing, when we see over a longer period of time, say 20 years of time, the CAGR looks to be around 13 to 14%. And growth in this year with respect to last year is very, very robust, is looking like around 17, 18%. But you need to see the data in perspective. When we see it is 17 to 18 years, 18%, you'll also need to see what happened last year. Last year, the industry has dipped actually by about 12%. So it is a degrowth of 12% and then increase of about 17, 18% that is visible this year. Last year, the industry remained around 7.07 lakhs, and this year it is expected around 8.4, 8.5 lakhs. That's how the industry is looking like. However, there are some significant trends which are visible in the last 10 to 15 years of time. First, we see that industry in a very small segment, which is less than 20 horsepower, and tractor industry, we look from a horsepower perspective. There are applications where you need a lower horsepower. For example, orchard applications or vineyard or grapes application, where you need a relatively a very small tractor, is around 4% at present. It used to be 10 years back around 2%. So it has just doubled. But the significant change is not only doubling the industry in this segment. Significant changes. Earlier, it was a very, very basic tractor, utility tractor. Now it's a technologically advanced tractor, a compact tractor. So that is coming in this particular segment. 20 to 30 horsepower segment, which used to be quite prominent, I would say about 8, 9%, has dropped down to about 6.5%. This is typically a utility segment wherein some tractors are used for haulage, construction material, and that segment has dropped a little bit this year. I'm comparing the 10 years data. But look at the significant change which has happened in 2 HP categories, which is 31 to 40 horsepower and 40 to 50 horsepower segment. 31 to 40 horsepower segment, which used to be 42% of the total industry, has dropped down by 10%. So currently, it is contributing only 32% to the total industry. And whereas the reverse has happened in 40 to 50 horsepower segment, which used to be around 36, 37% just 10 years back. Today, it is around 50% plus, almost 50%. So significant increase in a higher HP segment. And then if we look at the segment which is greater than 50 horsepower, which used to be around 6% 10 years back, has come to about 8.5% now. So significant change you can see in 30 horsepower plus, 30 to 40 horsepower, where the industry has gone down, the contribution of the industry has gone down, but 41 horsepower and above, the industry has grown significantly. Significant growth is happening in this particular segment. We'll talk about And I will discuss why this growth in higher HP segment and why not in the lower HP segment, wherein a knave, a person who is not related to farm industry will say that farmers are poor, affordability is not there, land is fragmenting. So logically speaking, the lower HP segment should be growing, but it is not. We'll talk about it. Let me come to the customer preferences. What is happening when it comes to the customer and how the customer is seeing when he takes a decision to buy a tractor. Number one, in last 10 years of time, we've seen that there was no discussion on the comfort. There was no discussion on the styling of the tractor. It was just meant to be used in a farm, and a traditional utility tractor was acceptable. But today, people talk about style, people talk about comfort, people talk about features in the tractor. So power steering, oil brakes, side shift of gears, which is more convenient, was never heard of 10 years back, or it was just at a very nascent stage. But today, these have become hygienes. So what has driven these changes? Number one is the application, which is changing over a period of time. And there is a significant change that we have seen. The prime tractor by itself can't do anything unless and until you attach some implement to a tractor. And 10 years back, the primarily implements used to be cultivators and harrow. And it was okay to use cultivator and harrow with lower horsepower tractor. So 30 to 40 HP segment, which was the prominent segment 10 years, 12 years, 15 years back. And these were the implements which were being used comfortably in that horsepower segment. But in last 10, 12 years of time, we have seen the usage of rotavator has grown significantly. Today, in about 60 to 65% of times we see when a farmer is using a tractor or he's tilling his land, he's using rotavator that needs a higher horsepower, not only the engine power, but it needs a higher PTO horsepower. And therefore, you need a higher HP tractor. There are some environmental changes which are happening. So for example, we see the issue of this paddy residual burning, which is cropped up in northern part of the country. And if you don't have to burn the paddy residue, you need to use the implements which are like super seeder, happy seeder, mulchers, balers. These implements were never being used 10 years back. Today, the usage has changed completely. And for using these implements, you need a higher horsepower tractor. That's another significant thing which is driving this change. Third, the farm labor is becoming scarce. There are more and more people who used to be in the farm earlier have started moving out and are moving to some other industries which are coming in, because working in a farm is actually a drudgery. It needs a higher amount of, I would say, you have to sweat it out and then you earn something. But if similar kind of a earning is possible in some other industries, maybe service industries, the people actually shift to those industries. And then there is a status issue. People don't want to work in the farm because of status also. That is changing over a period of time. And because of all that, we see that gradually you need heavier implements and market is moving towards the higher HP tractors. Other than that, there are few other changes which we are seeing. What are those changes? We see that the younger generation, which was not in the farm, they were moving out of the farm, and largely the farms were being given on the contract to the laborers and they used to till the land. But now, gradually we see that younger generation is coming to the farming. There is a precision farming coming in. There is a technology coming in. There is a digitization happening in this field. And therefore, this younger generation is also driving the changes, which is higher quality features, the styling, the comfort, the convenience which is required in the farm. So all this put together, on one side, we see that the usage of the tractor, the application of the tractor, the implements, the heavier implements which are being used with the tractors is driving the movement of lower HP requirement to higher HP requirement. On the other side, we see a farm labor moving out and there is a scarcity happening. The third biggest change is also the environmental change. That environmental change is the seed bed preparation, which used to, and farmer used to have a window of almost 45 days and at times even about 60 days. But today, with the change in the rainfall pattern, we see this window is shrinking. So you need to do all the work, but in lesser amount of time, and you don't have the farm labor available. And that's another reason you need a higher HP tractor. And because of that, this shift is happening towards higher HP tractor. But it's not as easy as I'm saying. It's happening very, very gradually because there are hurdles in adopting the change. And what are those hurdles? One, the land is becoming fragmented. It is becoming smaller and smaller. Second, which we used to witness about 10 years, 12 years, 15 years back, buying capacity of the farmer still remains the same. Farmer is not able to afford the tractor, which is higher HP tractor. His margin money, which he needs to put in when he buys a tractor, is very, very limited. The cash in hand is very, very limited with the farmer. Third, the quality of implements which are required are also not available at present in the domestic market. The quality is improving over a period of time, but still, when we compare vis-a-vis the developing nations and the developed nations, we still have to go a long way. The fourth thing is lack of knowledge and skill of the user. You bring in an implement, but how do you impart a knowledge to the farmer, how to use that implement and how to improve the efficiency and productivity in the farm? There are very few organizations available who are doing this extension job, very few universities which are engaged into this job, but the requirement is very, very high. And the last thing is some of the policies. Policies like currently, if we talk about the tariff, that is GST on tractor parts and auto parts, there are many parts where the tractor farmer has to pay 28% GST because the similar kind of a part is also used in automobile. Or testing of tractors. There are new tractors required, new technologies required, new styling required, higher HP tractors required. But then if you have to avail some of the government schemes which are applicable for farmers, the tractor needs to have a testing certification from Farm Mechanization Institute, which is government's institutes in Budni, but they have a limited capacity. So there is a long queue. So testing, which should happen in 3 months or 4 months of time, currently it is taking 2.5 to 3 years of time. So that's another hurdle in the mechanization or adaptation to the mechanization. But while there are hurdles, there are also opportunities. Now, opportunity side, if we look at, number one, the population growth. Currently, 130 billion is the population in the country. And therefore, the increase in demand for food, fiber, fuel is significant. And if we have to remain self-dependent on the food grain, we have to make sure that the production continue to increase. While there is no increase in the irrigable land, the land available, which is being tilled today, is almost constant. It is almost flat in the last 10 years of time. This year, we have seen an increase of about 3% in the cultivated area, but that is because the rainfall has been good. Otherwise, in last 10, 15 years of time, the land which can be tilled is constant. It is not changing. There is a labor shortage and therefore the increase of mechanization. And therefore, the trend we see is the requirement, first of all, is to improve the efficiency and improve the productivity. In the same farm, if we can produce, currently, if we are producing 32 quintals of wheat, we need to look at what is happening in like-to-like developing nations across. We need to possibly double this production. Same thing goes for paddy and other crops. And therefore, the need for precision agriculture and need for digitizing this whole process so that you can bring in comfort, you can bring in technology, and you can improve farm productivity with less of water. And therefore, the need of some of the digital initiatives. There are other growth drivers in this industry. There are some social drivers. For example, today, about 43% of the farm labor is a women labor. There is a drudgery in the farm. Status I talked about. There is a status involved and many people don't want to go there. But that's also an opportunity for some category of the population. And then there are some agricultural or agronomics drivers, for example, need for cropping intensity, improvement in the farm production. There is an opportunity on the contract farming. There is an opportunity on the contingency farming. If one crop fails, then there is a plan B available. If the rain doesn't happen on time, there is a plan B available. What else can be sown in the same land? And then there are economic factors like cost and timing efficiency, service and manufacturing sector growth, which is happening, and the easy availability of retail finance. That's another significant growth driver to this opportunity. And on the top of it, there is a government's plan. Government plan is, what we have been hearing is to double the farm income. And if we have to double the farm income and the farmer has to get double the money, double the profit, I would say, what he's getting, he was getting 3 years or 4 years back, the need for the implements like transplanters, balers, compact tractors, or the adoption of new norms which are coming in. Now it is 3A, TREM 3A norms, like in automobile, it is Bharat Stage 4 and Bharat Stage 5 and Bharat Stage 6 norms. Similarly, for tractor, it is TREM 4 norms coming in for 50 HP and above from October this year, and then TREM 5 norm coming in, and 2 years down the line, TREM 6 norm coming in. So adoption to that technology. And custom hiring centers, wherein farmer could pay by use, and they don't have to buy the heavier implements. They don't have to spend the money of 3 lakh or 4 lakh for an implement, which is attached with a tractor, but and which is used only for few hours in a year. And there is no point in blocking a money, and therefore the need of custom hiring centers and larger participation in custom hiring centers from OEMs as well as from farm producing organizations or FPOs. So if I look at all the factors put together, the kind of labor shortage which is currently there, and year by year we see the shortage is increasing, which means the tilling has to happen, the food grain production has to happen, efficiency has to come in, productivity has to go up, higher HP segment is increasing, implements which are required to have a productivity in the food grain production, you need a higher and precision implements. All those things are the positive things which are there to make sure that we remain self-dependent as far as the food grain is concerned in the country. However, on the other side, there are some flip sides which are either related to the policies or related to the status or social economic drivers in the country. We have projected that the trend which was visible to us in the last 10 to 15 years of time, and if we look at that CAGR and compare and do the regression model on the kind of HP per hectare which is required in the country, we foresee that next 10 years of time, very, very comfortably, around 8 to 9% kind of CAGR in the tractor industry, which means that There is a possibility of blips again every 3 years or 4 years, as there have been the trends in the last 15 years and 20 years of time. There will be blips, but those will be largely because of either the corrections which will happen in between, or because of the environmental factors, because sometimes rain is delayed, or sometimes rainfall, there is a failure, or there is a El Nino impact which happens. And because of that, some kind of blips will happen, but then the strong growth again, and overall industry to grow by about 7 to 8 to 10%, around 9% average, if I have to talk about. Now, let me talk about another factor which is driving the growth, that is a retail finance. Currently, there are 16 key banks and NBFCs which are funding the tractors and farm equipments. And these all NBFCs and banks have a very, very low NPAs when they compare their NPAs with respect to the auto industry or the commercial vehicle industry. The return for the financier in this industry is significantly better, but risk is also relatively higher. So this retail finance is also giving a growth to this industry. The last factor is the replacement market. Currently, the industry which we see, and this year it is expected to be around 8.4 to 8.5 lakhs, almost about 52 to 53% of the industry is a replacement industry, which means almost 50% of the farmers, they buy a tractor after selling their old tractor. And when they sell their old tractor, the trend which we witness is this exchange happens at the OEM outlets, which means the dealership outlets. And to equip the dealership to have their capability to exchange the tractor and then to sell a tractor which they have taken in exchange and make that also as a business model is another opportunity which is very clearly visible, and it is happening. The last part which I want to talk about is, unlike two-wheeler, commercial vehicle or car industry, wherein the retail happens immediately when a customer comes to the showroom, he pays the money, the invoice is raised, and retail is completed. In tractor industry, the farmer takes a tractor, he tests the tractor out with the implement at least for 20 to 30 days of time. And after that, the process of retailing starts in tractor. That part is a pain area for most of the manufacturers, because retail cycle time in tractor industry is almost about 35 days. Whereas the same in the car industry is about 4 days to 5 days of time. And this part, most manufacturers are working very, very hard to bring in digitization so that the whole process can be shortened. The inefficiencies which are lying there in the system currently are bridged. And my expectation, as I see in tractor industry, this is going to be one of the growth driver, because currently about 35 days of cycle of retail, which means almost more than a month's working capital is blocked, that money rotates after 35 days. And if the time is shortened to say about 7 days or 8 days, as it is in auto industry, the huge money will come back into the system and it will fuel the growth. That's an area which is an opportunity area for all the manufacturers. And I see that many of the manufacturers are working on this account. So in nutshell, this is an industry which people can bank upon. This is an industry which people can invest on. This is an industry which people can rely upon for the growth and could be a strong pillar in the economic growth of the Indian economy. Thank you very much.